This is the FREESKY Swift Horse Pro. The reason it sticks in my mind is simple. It crushes steep climbs without bucking me around, and it stays comfortable and predictable long after the pavement ends. I would put this in the big, full suspension, fat tire electric bike category. It is the kind of bike I reach for when I want to explore rough trails, cut across rutted back roads, or commute through a hilly neighborhood without worrying about sweat or struggling on the last climb home. If you want a nimble, lightweight city runabout, this is not that. If you want power, stability, and range with an emphasis on off-road confidence, this is much closer to the mark. The design feels rugged in a way that matters once you start riding. The blue-gray aluminum frame is chunky and reassuring. It never looks cluttered. The wiring is tucked in cleanly. Most of the weight sits low and centered, so even though this bike is heavy, around 92 pounds, it does not feel tippy when I roll it off a curb or thread it through a trail entrance. The suspension front and rear has enough travel to take the sting out of potholes and washboard gravel. I ride in a naturally upright position, which lets me see traffic and trail obstacles without craning my neck. I did move the saddle a bit forward and down to find my sweet spot. I am 5'10", and it fits me well. If you are much shorter than 5'6" or much taller than about 6'4", you might need to play with seat height and stem position to get truly comfortable. The 26-inch wheels and 4-inch wide tires are a big part of why the bike feels planted. They grab loose surfaces without hunting, and they keep the bike calm when I lean into faster turns on pavement. Setup was painless. The bike arrives mostly assembled. I attached the front wheel, straightened the bars, mounted the pedals, and checked the bolts. I aired the tires to a middle ground pressure and then backed them down for dirt. That first ride told me a lot right away. The motor responds instantly when I add pedal pressure. The throttle comes on smooth without a kicky hit that would unsettle the bike. The color display is bright enough to read in direct sun. Turning the bike on with near-field communication cards or a passcode has been surprisingly convenient. I do not worry about a metal key, and I like the little ritual of tapping the card. There is a universal serial bus port under the display that will top up a phone while I track a route. The core performance comes down to the motor, the battery, the brakes, and the suspension. The motor is a 1,000-watt unit from BAFANG that peaks around 2,000 watts. On paper, that sounds like a lot. In practice, it feels like the right kind of power. I weigh about 175 pounds, and when I start on loose gravel, the bike does not hesitate. Torque is immediate but manageable. It will walk up steep pitches that I would not even attempt on a regular bike. FREESKY mentioned something like a 40-degree climbing limit. I do not have anything that extreme nearby, but on the steepest hills I ride, it never bogged down. The battery is a 48-volt pack with 38 amp-hours using Samsung cells, tucked cleanly inside the frame. I like that it is removable, so I can bring it inside to charge. Range is what you make of it. FREESKY claims up to around 120 miles in pedal assist under ideal conditions. My real rides are a mix of throttle bursts, medium pedal assist, and some pure pedaling on flats. With that blend, I get several days of commuting and trail detours before I even think about charging. If I go throttle heavy, the range drops as expected. A full charge with the included fast charger takes around 5 to 6 hours, which matches what I have seen at home. Braking is handled by hydraulic calipers with 4 pistons, one at each corner. That matters on a bike this heavy and this fast. The lever feel is firm with smooth modulation. I can slow the bike confidently on loose dirt without locking a wheel, and emergency stops on pavement feel controlled instead of panicked. Suspension tuning out of the box is on the comfortable side. It soaks up chatter nicely, and it keeps the tires in contact with the ground, which helps those brakes do their job. Here is how that all plays out when I am actually riding. I have a local loop that starts with a paved climb, turns to hard-packed dirt, and then dumps into a section of river trail with sand patches and roots. On the climb, I leave pedal assist in a mid-setting, spin a comfortable cadence, and watch the speed sitting well above what I would do on a regular bike. Cresting the hill, I bump the assist down and enjoy the view without listening to a motor strain. On the dirt, the bike feels calm. The fat tires float over ruts. The suspension takes the edge off rocks without a harsh rebound. When I hit sand, I roll on a bit of throttle, keep my weight back, and the bike tracks straight instead of digging in. By the time I reach the road again, I still have enough battery to extend the ride. More importantly, I am not beat up. I notice the same thing on weekday errands. Curb cuts, potholes, and chewed-up shoulders that usually steal energy just become background texture. Top speed is another point I tested. FREESKY says it will do around 35 miles per hour with pedal assist. On a slight downhill with pedal assist high, I saw about 32 miles per hour on the display. On flat ground, I can sit in the high 20s and hold a conversation. There is no speed limiter from the factory the way many commuter electric bikes have. That is fun, but it also means I am careful where I ride fast, and I check local rules so I stay on the right side of the law. For a concrete use case, I have been using the Swift Horse Pro as a weekend adventure and weekday shortcut machine. On Saturdays, I throw on a small backpack, head to the trailhead, and do an out and back that used to feel like a workout. Now it feels like a choose-your-own-route ride. If a path looks rough or a hill looks too spicy, I try it anyway. I come home not wrecked, and that means I actually ride more. During the week, I cut across a park to avoid a busy road. There are roots, washouts, and a couple of sketchy drainage dips. The bike just rolls it all. The suspension keeps the bar steady, the brakes keep speed in check, and I do not sweat a surprise pothole. There are a few smart touches that I appreciate every single ride. The near-field communication card and passcode power on system genuinely improves day-to-day use. It is quick, it feels secure, and I do not have to think about a key. The color display is readable under noon sun, so I am not guessing my speed or battery bar on bright days. The universal serial bus charging port under the display is perfect for keeping a phone alive while using navigation. The removable battery means I do not need an outlet in the garage. I just pop the pack and charge it inside. And the hydraulic 4-piston brakes inspire the kind of confidence that lets me enjoy the speed without worrying about the stop. It is not perfect. The kickstand is a little wobbly for a bike this size. It holds the bike up, but I would like a sturdier stand, especially on soft ground. The weight is the trade-off for the power and the big battery. I do not carry this upstairs, and I would not want to lift it onto a car rack by myself. The initial punch from the motor can surprise riders who are new to powerful electric bikes, so I recommend starting in a low assist setting and easing into it. Also, because of the power and the top speed, it will be outside the allowable class in some areas, so I make a point to check local laws and ride responsibly. My quick answer for who should consider this bike is pretty straightforward. If you want a high-powered electric bike that can handle real trails, rough city streets, and big hills without drama, and you value comfort and stability over a feathery weight, the FREESKY Swift Horse Pro makes a lot of sense. If you live in a walk-up and need to carry your bike upstairs every day, or if you only ride on smooth paths in flat neighborhoods, it might feel like more machine than you need. For me, it has been a reliable, genuinely fun tool that turns routes I used to avoid into routes I look forward to riding. You can find detailed information about the FREESKY Swift Horse Pro in the comments section. See you in the next video.